horseradish from the slaw. Gold, but fire.
Not gonna lie to you guys, thought Champs was gonna be like a quick little thing, but they had a lot of reviews, 4.5 stars. Figured I'd try it out. Got the fried catfish platter, mainly for symbolism. You know, they're apparently world famous for hot chicken, but they also have a signature catfish platter. And I figured, since I got to play in more, not Mississippi mud, but more of that Tennessee mud tomorrow, I might as well embody the symbol of the catfish and get out there with the powers and the nutrients of the catfish who has lived in the mud, so that I can go thrive in the mud for round 2. Catfish platter was pretty good. Tartar sauce was nice. It had like a noticeable tanginess, kind of with the lemon juice, but not too much to overpower it. Still had a nice creamy finish, and catfish was solid. A couple thinner pieces that didn't bring the juiciness, but I had at least one nice thick one that was pretty dang good. I'd say definitely solid. Let's see, my meal on the scale, 1 to 10 for a catfish platter. I really like the coleslaw. That was the notable thing. It had horseradish root, I believe, in there, so it added a nice spiciness to it that I thought really brought out a good, unique flavor. And little bits of attention to detail here and there made it a solid pick for what it is. You know, you're never gonna be mind blown by a catfish platter, really. I mean, maybe you could be if it's fresh caught. You know, change my mind. Someone change my mind right now. All right, we're gonna go Champs fried catfish platter. It'll get a nice, we'll go 7.8. You know, I would get it again, but I'm not necessarily jumping out of my socks to do it. I did see in the reviews that they had some banana pudding, and I thought about getting that for dessert. But then I saw this place called Blackbox ice cream, and they have some flavor with coconut and charcoal or something, and Pacific sea salt, or I don't know. I'll see you there. All right, you guys, I got my Blackbox ice cream, but I just realized I think I left my debit card at Champs, so I'm running back. Don't have time to review. Yes, I do. Got the ube. Oh my god. Absolutely go to Blackbox ice cream shop in Smyrna. We're doing it. 10 of 10. Made in-house. They got rotating flavors. The ube is one of the staying flavors though, which good thing. So good. All right, going back to our debit card. Well, thank goodness you guys went back. Got the debit card back. What a rookie mistake. Talk about an unnecessary panic mode. And now let's talk about round 1, Music City Open. Give you guys a little recap. That ice cream, it was so amazing. I can't overstate it enough. Even through the panic of driving back to hope my debit card didn't get taken. Yeah, and just another point for Champs. You know, we'll go ahead and bump that fried catfish plate up. We'll give it a, you know, we'll give it an 8.1. We'll give it an 8.1. Just gets a little bump over the 8-point mark. You know, good people deserve good things. Round 1, Music City. Definitely left a lot on the table. Played a +2, which definitely puts me right there in the middle of the pack. A lot of scores worse than that, but also a lot of scores better than that. And yeah, I put it OB 6 times, which is just far too many to play a solid round. There was a couple that really just won. Felt like I threw a good shot. I got an OB. But I also had some fortunate situations. All in all, though, it felt like my mind was in a good spot. Started off on hole 1. Had a look at birdie just inside the circle. Caught Cage on a slightly elevated putting position. And should have used more legs. Hole 2, missed the gap. Hadn't done that all week in practice. So I'm going to commit to that forehand. Wasn't really sure about the footing on the wet turf. And you got to trust your stuff and hit the gaps out there. So going to pop that one tomorrow. Make sure to be at least 1 or 2 strokes better through 2 holes than I was today. Then played a good birdie on hole 3. So one of the good things I did was every time I took it, I ended up taking a bogey on 2, long story short, and ended up bouncing back with birdie on 3, and then played The proper miss, though still a frustrating miss in my upshot on hole 4 after throwing a good drive. Leaked it left out of bounds. Caught the cage on like a 70-footer, so I almost made a long putt for par. Ended up taking bogey there, but that's that side. Like I said before the tournament, you want to take those misses that lead to par saves, bogey opportunities, and don't take big numbers on a course like that. Otherwise, your score will get away from you quick, especially in the mud and in the variable wind that we played today. Weather was surprisingly better than expected. No rain, some gusty wind out of a south-ish position that made the course play pretty tricky, especially some of those holes in the middle. So end up once again taking a bogey on hole 4, bounce back on 5 with a birdie. So back-to-back bounce backs, correcting mistakes, charging on. Then I'm able to double up and get another really tough birdie to get in hole 6. So that one felt good. Hole 7 through best drive of the group. Just barely missed my circle 1 putt low. I was about a disc width into circle 1. Left to right crosswind on an elevated basket. And I was about 2 inches low. Knew the wind would probably drop me, but didn't commit to the power that I needed on it. And then we get to hole 8. Pretty crazy wind for that hole. Made the second shot really tough, so didn't quite get the angle I needed. After a good drive, chipped up, took my par. Hole 9 through good forehand drive. It's a hole that over the top shot just kind of goes away in the right to left wind that we had today and will likely have for tomorrow as well. Second shot got flat on a forehand. Fortunately, was in bounds. Chipped up, saved with. It was honestly, I had like 150 in through a pretty awful feeling upshot that hit some trees, dropped me to 20. Made that putt. So it was kind of a shaky par, but still, par mistakes are good mistakes. Then we get to hole 10, the baked cake fairway, as I described it in my practice round. Threw a good drive. That second shot, I did not commit. I should have just thrown it, knowing that even if I slip, you know what, no one's going to call a foot fault in a situation like that. If you're playing on the mud and you land behind your lie and you just slide forward, it's like not really much you can do about that. So there has to be like a bit of leeway in a game like this in those situations, unfortunately, until we get like the perfect grass that can not rip out when you throw it. Yeah, I don't know. We need some thick prairie grass that's mowed to the ground, but then it probably will die. So, you know, disc golf is just one of those tough games playing in the mud that just it makes it hard. And so yeah, I didn't commit, took an OB stroke on my second shot, had about 400 feet in. So I went Athena. I needed to just, if anything, be hard and low, committed, take my par, but I got a little soft on my feet and therefore soft out of the hand. Missed left, got up and down with a good like 300-foot zone shot after that, and a nice putt. Another single bogey that was a mistake that I would have liked to clean up, but at the same time didn't let anything run away on me. And then we get to 11, the narrow par 3 that I feel like plays pretty well, except for how tight the out of bounds is, not only on the left and the right, but as I found today, as I literally threw the best drive of the bunch. Thought I had like a 17-footer. Turns out it was a 26-footer, but guess what? You can only be up to 24 feet long at the basket in bounds on a hole that feels like the gap is tight enough to create a consistent challenge to where if you hit it and you get out to that open and you're inside the circle, I feel like you should have a look for the birdie. So unfortunately found out of bounds just long there. Then missed a pretty short, that was my shortest, my only 3 circle 1 misses I had on the day. 2 of them were like 1 step inside the circle, or 1 foot inside the circle, I should say. A disc, if you will. Whereas that one was pretty well inside the circle. Probably like 22 feet, 21 feet on the comeback, and caged that into the headwind. So that was a shaky putt. Needed to commit way better than that. Felt pretty unfortunate after throwing a good drive to mess that one up. Yeah, so that was frustrating. And then we get to 11, par 5. Sorry, 12, par 5. Get a good birdie there, kind of dissect that one. Then we get to 13, which I haven't had any trouble with in practice, necessarily like going long off the tee with the Raptor setup shot that I've been throwing forehand. And I guess I just connected a little bit too much with that tournament energy. Found the OB line long off the tee with the meter in. Still not a great spot. I got down to a knee. and tried to forehand it, but caught a tickler branch, kind of broke through it. Left myself 150 feet in, chipped up, took a bogey. So another one where, you know, I just got to throw a better tee shot to give myself an opportunity, but I feel like I can really correct on that one and have a 2-stroke swing tomorrow. If not, for sure a 1-stroke swing. Then we go to hole 14, par 5, pretty simple, bad drive. Second kind of feels scary, but is in a decent spot, and I throw Spike Heiser in, able to nab the birdie on probably the highest birdie rate hole in the course. Definitely a softer par 5 this year than it was last year, but still takes 3 measured decent shots to get there. So able to get the birdie there, another bounce back, and ended up bouncing back on 4 of my 6 bogeys of the day. So I'm pretty proud of the way I just mentally kept at it all day. Never let a bogey make me feel too shook, just kind of relaxed and kept playing on the next hole. As much as I'd love to clean up the 6 out of bounds strokes and not have 6 bogeys to boot, I think if I can keep the mental framing that I had today, tomorrow's gonna go a lot better. As we finish out the round, we had 15, kind of a dual option. I went with the forehand. Forehand has been feeling pretty solid, and it's just a bigger gap. Hadn't really been pure in that backhand either, so wanted to switch it up there, and I thought I threw a great shot. One of those holes where the gap to kind of stall fade back to the basket is pretty limbed up, and it's definitely nice to have fortune on your side here and there. Caught one of the limbs, dropped to 70, missed that putt, or a fairway shot, whatever you want to call that, from that distance, but I kind of jump putted it up. So another opportunity where, like, man, I feel like off the tee I gave myself a chance to score. Didn't quite capitalize because the tree didn't let me. Then we get to 16, short par 3, 300 feet, chip sidearm, and I get flat on my captain's Raptor after watching my guy Connor Rock get flat on his Firebird. And you just gotta maintain hyzer in the wind situation we had on that shot. You don't even need to be flat anyways because it's not that long. It's only 300 feet. I'm throwing a Raptor. So gotta come out on hyzer there tomorrow. Gonna correct that one. Not gonna bogey it, gonna birdie it, maybe even get my first tournament ace. So you know what? I'm going for the 3-stroke swing on that one tomorrow. There's a lot of strokes out that are about to be had. I'm letting you guys know. I ate that catfish so I can be one with the mud. The symbolism starts now. The synergy starts now. And then as we go to hole 17, I throw a good drive. Have the best second shot in of the group, but into the headwind that we had with the muddy conditions, I should have bumped up from the PD to a distance driver. Made the mistake I couldn't, which was getting flat, finding that little pocket corner of out of bounds that's up there as you approach the green. The miss, if anything, is left in the wood line. Take yourself, it's a pretty thin wood line right there compared to some of the rest of the course, so you can get yourself into that and still have a look at it, take your putt. And I made the unforgivable mistake of being too flat on it, which that was definitely frustrating. Big error on my part there. I should have saved for sure a stroke, if not giving myself a chance at birdie there by throwing a stable distance driver, probably a Halo Star Boss. And if anything, you go out of bounds long, and then you have like a 15-foot tailwind comeback for your par save versus being short, having to throw it in from 100 feet to score a par save, which is just unlikely. So another bogey there on 17. That one was definitely one that I really let slip away from me more so than most of my bogeys. I feel like that one, I totally earned that one, and the one on 13 too. And then 18, tough hole to get. Tailwind, thought about going Athena to keep it straighter, but I went Kobe Bryant. Ended up sticking in the mud, not getting any skip at about circle 2's edge where I landed, and tried to run that putt, but I think I had clipped a bit of left side chain or a little bit off the top or something. I don't know. Caught a little bit of metal and wound up taking par. So all in all, like I said, I kept battling all day. A lot of bounce back on 2/3 of my bogeys, and I'm looking forward to not even having to bounce back tomorrow. Just keeping it clean, mud free. We are the Catfish. And you guys are the best fans of disc golf, and I appreciate y'all watching the content, trying to keep it rolling today. You know, kept it simple, just a little food review. Talk about round 1 for you guys. Hopefully round 2 will be better. It's going to be for sure. I'm hoping weather-wise, though, that the storm that's just about to kind of push back on top of us after it's got pushed away today, seems like it's coming back tomorrow, and not really looking forward to that. Hopefully we don't have lightning and tornadoes and hail and some of the things that it threatens to bring. Hopefully it's just kind of mild and winds up being some rain and some wind, and we're able to playing with the weather delay on a physically long and strenuous course like that. Just walking around in the mud is just, it makes for a long and just not that fun of a day. So either way, I'm gonna deal with it. I survived the slide away at the hideaway. I can survive this, and I will. And I'm gonna get out there and do my best to climb up the leaderboard. I honestly, where I'm at right now, no one shot crazy hot, where I truly feel like I'm still in this. If I can lay down 2 hot rounds, you never know what can happen. And even just 2 steady rounds, climb back into a respectable finish is what I'm looking for. Just to go out there and play 1 shot at a time, respect the course, respect my body, be thorough in my thought process, but free flowing of body and of action out there. And thanks you guys once again for joining. Who knows what tomorrow will bring. It's always a new day, so go get it.